Hello, happy Monday. So, is it true? Do you really need to constantly dominate your horse, be the boss, the leader, and to make him do things, to make him respect you? I'm here to debunk that today. That question came from one of the members of the Confident Horsemanship community. And that's my Facebook group. And if you're joining me for the first time, I'm Ann Gage, the horse riding confidence coach, and I help anxious horse riders get back in the saddle with confidence and joy. And I'm the author of the book, Confident Rider, Confident Horse, which is available as a PDF download from my website, confidenthorsemanship.com, or you can get the lovely paperback version from there as well. So, what is this about being the boss, being a good leader? Because I work with a lot of women, mostly, obviously, with confidence issues, and this is something that they struggle with often. Because when you're not feeling very confident, you might not feel like a leader, or you might feel uncomfortable being bossy. And it's been around in the horse world for quite some time that horses need a leader. Well, what is going on is they've done a lot more research on horses and wild horse herds. So our domestic horses may behave differently from their wild cousins because of how we manage them, how we house them, how we look after them, our interactions with them. But when you study wild horses, and even if you're fortunate enough to have a herd of horses, even a small group of horses that have lived together for a very long time, like mine have for a number of years, without any new horses coming into that herd, you'll notice that their social setup is not linear, that they collaborate. Their survival in the wild depends on them collaborating. The bigger the herd, the more chance of their individual survival. So they don't push each other around because in the wild, food is there. They live on the plains in nature, in the wild, and food is there. They guide each other to water. What happens when we keep our horses, the way we keep our horses sometimes, is that resources can be scarce. So then there might be some challenges over that pile of hay or that water trough. Or horses may have, in their past, unfortunately, been neglected. And so they learn to resource guard or to get aggressive about food because at one time they might have been starved. So when you look at the social setup of horses, it's the hierarchy. We used to think it was sort of linear. You had your head horse, your boss horse, your lead horse, your alpha, whatever term you want to give it, and then each horse subsequently behind that in number. But if you watch horses in a group, you will notice that I've had, in my experience, a mare who appeared to be the boss, who could move every other horse around, but she was friends with the horse who seemed to be the lowest in the herd, that all of the other horses seemed to move around. But when this lower ranked horse was with the higher ranked horse, nobody pushed them around. There was nice peace within the herd. So you'll see that sometimes what appears to be the number 2 horse might move the number 1 horse. So it's kind of fluid at times. And it's like having a family. And, sometimes they get along, sometimes they have little squabbles. But there's not this direct domination. And they're not constantly fighting and moving each other around to prove who is the top horse, so to speak. So when you look at that herd differently, as a family, as they rely on collaboration, as they find safety and security within that herd and not being bullied within that herd, then that might change how you look at how we interact with them. So if we come in and we are constantly pushing them around and making them move and moving their feet and all that type of thing, it can become very stressful for the horse. And although they may do what we are asking them to do, they may be doing it almost with a sense of fear, or at least with a certain level of tension, physical and mental tension. And that does not make for a great or for the best partnership. So what I've learned, and I have worked with horses the traditional way. I have done some natural horsemanship type of training. And more recently, I have worked with horses based on using positive reinforcement. I've studied some science-based equine behavior and learning behavior with people like Dr. Susan Friedman, Justine Harrison, who is a great behaviorist in the UK. A couple other people, unfortunately, their names have just gone out of my head. I apologize. Lauren and Robin, whose last names I can't think of right now. But using positive reinforcement, all that means is, instead of telling the horse when he's doing something wrong, you're telling the horse when he's doing something right. You're just letting him know that, yes, that's a step in the right direction. Or, yes, that was the behavior I was looking for. And rewarding that with something pleasant. So that could be as simple as a nice scratch on the withers, if that's where he enjoys being scratched, or on his neck, or wherever that horse really enjoys being scratched. You can pair that up with a unique sound, and that's what clicker training is. It's a form of positive reinforcement where you pair the reinforcer, the reward, with a unique sound. So in dog trainings, it's a little clicker thing, mechanical clicker thing. With dolphins, it's a whistle, and marine mammals, often it's a whistle. But it means with that sound, you can actually mark the instant the horse does something that you're looking for, and you don't have to be near the horse. So if you picture how they're doing it with dolphins and seals and those types of things, marine animals, they are off somewhere in the water, not nearby. So we can do the same thing with any mammal. But all of us, humans included, learn better when we're told we're doing something right. And that really builds confidence in the horse. It really builds trust in you from the horse, and you earn your horse's respect because they know what to expect from you. They feel safe with you, and they're just okay. There's no surprises. If they make a mistake, as all of us do, if they make a mistake, they don't get any punishment or a consequence for that. They just get asked again for the move, for whatever it was we were asking them to do. Now, does that mean you get run over by your horse? Does that mean you're getting mugged for treats by your horse? Absolutely not. When you use treats in a way that you're not just handing them out willy-nilly, that they are only associated with a particular behavior. And when you feed that treat away from your body, not in close to you, so the horse is actually turning his head away from your body, and the horse is staying out of your space, that's when he gets the treat or the scratch. They learn to stay out of your space really, really quickly. So that's how you get a horse to really trust you, to feel safe and relaxed with you. And when the horse is feeling safe and calm, they're less likely to have big reactions to things that startle them. When you're starting out, as you may know, if you're lacking confidence or feeling anxious as a horse rider, when you're already carrying a low level of anxiety with you, and something happens that startles you, your anxiety goes up a notch or more. And that's when we can have spooks and bigger sort of behaviors that we don't really like as riders. But when you come out and there's no anxiety to start with, and something happens, and then you kind of go, oh, that might be something to worry about, but then you can quickly calm your horse down. It works the same for your own anxiety. The more you practice relaxation, the more you can get yourself into a state of relaxation. When you're not feeling anxious before you get on your horse, you can cope with a lot more. So, if you have any questions or comments, please do pop them in below. I will come back and answer them. If you have a topic you would like me to cover in one of my weekly lives, pop that in or send me a private message, and that might become a topic for my next live. And if you would like some tips on how to notice tension, subtle signs of tension in your horse, I have a free download you can get that gives you 6 subtle signs of tension. And you can, I'm going to put that link in the comments, so you can go to that link, and get that download. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you on my next video next week.